on the dust-choked edge of a forgotten Wild West town, where hope was measured in coins and mercy was rarer than rain, the auction platform creaked beneath the weight of cruelty disguised as commerce, and there she stood, Eliza Mayfield, mocked, mislabeled, and misunderstood, a young woman whose life had been reduced to whispers and numbers, called virgin like it was a flaw, called obese like it was a crime, her worth insultingly set at $2, because no one in the crowd could see past the hunger lines of their own hearts to recognize the strength beating inside her chest. And as the auctioneer's voice cracked in the hot air, laughter rippled through the men who came not to help but to gawk, each bid falling flatter than the last, until silence threatened to swallow her whole, and Eliza lowered her eyes, not in shame but in exhaustion from a world that never gave her a fair name, her mind drifting to memories of her mother's soft voice telling her that mountains stand tall not because they are thin but because they are unbreakable. And just when the final call echoed with cruel finality, the ground itself seemed to answer as heavy boots approached, each step deliberate, each footfall carrying the promise of something different. And from between the horses and wagons emerged a giant mountain man, broad as the peaks that birthed him, beard streaked with silver and eyes carved from storms, a man who had spent his life in the wild where truth mattered more than titles. And when he spoke, the town felt smaller, his voice calm yet immovable as he placed a single coined dollars on the platform and said, "You are coming with me," not as a claim of ownership but as a declaration of rescue. And the laughter died instantly because there was something in his tone that demanded respect, something that told the world this was not a purchase but a promise. And Eliza looked up, startled, meeting his gaze not with fear but with a flicker of disbelief that someone so powerful could see her as more than a burden. And as the chains of judgment loosened, the mountain man known only as Caleb Stone helped her down from the platform with a gentleness that contradicted his size, wrapping her in a coat worn by wind and snow. And as they walked away from the town that had tried to sell her spirit for spare change, whispers followed but none dared challenge him, because courage recognizes courage. And out on the open trail, Caleb told Eliza nothing of ownership or obligation, only that the mountains had room for those who wished to start again, that work there was honest, food was earned, and dignity was non-negotiable. And as days turned into weeks at his high country homestead, Eliza discovered muscles in her arms she never knew she had, laughter in her chest she thought the world had stolen, and purpose in every sunrise that painted the peaks gold, while Caleb watched quietly, knowing the strongest thing he had ever done was not lifting boulders or surviving blizzards, but standing up in a town full of cowards and choosing kindness. And when winter came hard and fast, Eliza stood her ground beside him, learning that survival was not about fitting into someone else's idea of worth, but about claiming your own. And as word spread of the mountain woman who worked harder than any man and the giant who refused to let the world break her, travelers came not to stare but to learn, to trade, to listen. And Eliza's story became a quiet legend, proof that destiny is not decided by auctions or insults, but by the moment someone chooses to say enough. And as the fire crackled on a long cold night, Eliza finally understood that being chosen did not mean being owned. It meant being seen. And Caleb understood that saving someone does not make you their hero. It makes you their witness. And if this story of courage, dignity, and second chances stirred something in your heart, then remember that legends live on when they are shared. So subscribe to Wild West Diaries, saddle up with us for more powerful frontier tales, and ride with a channel that believes even the smallest bid can change a life forever.